So I found this image for my landscape, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open it in Photoshop, and I'm going to go to Image Size. I want to see how big it is, and I want to check the resolution. I'm going to bump the resolution up to 300, and I'm going to change the bigger of the two to 10 inches. It's going to be a big file now. Control minus to shrink back out. Okay, so now I have a decent image, and at this point I would want to go to File, Save As, and I'm just going to save it on my computer because I like to. And make sure that when you save it, that you save it as a JPEG. Now it won't give me the JPEG option right now, and the reason that is I have to go to Layer, and I need to go down to flatten the image first. Now if I go to save, it'll allow me to save it as a JPEG. And I'm going to say Sword 11, 14, 22 landscape. Okay. The other thing you might want to try, if your image is just really complicated, is go to Filter, Filter Gallery, under Artistic, and go to Cutout. And I'm going to hit a minus here. This actually might be helping me a little bit. It's certainly making the sky easier, but then the background isn't quite working right. So I may have to play with this a little bit. Let's drop the number of levels. No, I'm trying to make it so that I can still understand what's happening in the background. I don't know, not liking that, but it could help. Especially in this case, it could help with the background. Anyways, I'm going to leave it like this for now. Make sure that it's saved. Close out of Photoshop. Then I'm going to go into Illustrator. And of course, you're going to make sure that you have your image approved by me. The things that I'm looking for is that you have a foreground, a middle ground, and a background. So that means that you have something close up to you. You have something sort of sitting in the middle, and then you have something sitting in the back. Okay, so this is 10 inches by 10 inches. That'll be fine. I can size it later. Hopefully it will create it. There we go. And I can pull my image in. And I'm just going to size this to make sure that it fits. There we go. Move it up. I can remove the bottom later. I want to make sure that I have my layers panel up. And the first thing is I'm going to deal with a very basic foreground and background. So the horizon line goes right across here. Again, it's where the sky meets the land, or where the sea meets the land. I am actually going to do this on a new layer. So I'm going to lock my background layer, make a new layer, and I'm going to start by making a box that goes to the horizon line. I can move that box down, and let's move it down there to begin with. I'm also going to start by taking some boxes, and I'm going to make 1, 2, doesn't matter what size, right? 3, 4, 5, let's go with 6, and you're going to need at least 6 colors, so let's keep with that. Then I'm going to hit I, and we're going to go with a blue. Got to go back, select the next one, hit I. We're going to go with a dark blue. Click the next one, hit I. Let's go with a dark green. Ooh, too dark. That's better. Go to here, go with an I. I don't need to put in white because that's already a color. I'm going to choose that, I guess. Go to here, hit I. Let's go with a stupidly light blue. Yeah. And then the last one, go with an I. You know what? I want a little bit of yellow, because I want the sword to be a little bit under the yellow glow side. So I'm going to look for kind of like a, I had it for a second. Something like that. Sure. Okay, so that's going to be my color palette. I can always add more colors. And remember, your goal for the day is to get the color palette set up, to get your image, and then starting to get the background in the foreground. Okay, so as things get farther away, they get lighter. So because of that, I'm going to go down and I'm going to choose my gradient. I'm going to go to my gradient panel, and I need to switch this by 90 degrees. I want the dark at the top, I want the light at the bottom, and I am going to see if I can get this to work. So my dark blue, yep, but see how it switched off gradient. Okay, so the first thing I have to do is I've got to get my gradient so that it's taking colors. It drives me nuts that I have to go through and do this each time. Gradient, come on gradient. So we got half the gradient. There we go, now we got it accepting colors. So from here, I'm going to go with my dark blue for this one. And of course it went off gradient again. So to simplify, I'm just going to go in, I'm going to choose not the right color, not the right color. There we go. Dark blue. Okay, I'll go with it. And then I'm going to let it go to white because it's white there. I might change that color up later. I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to use my slider. Darker towards the top. Alright. So I got my sky. Remember, I can always go through with this layer, and I can change the opacity of the entire layer. I gotta figure out where my opacity is, of course. There we go. Layer 2, opacity. Let's drop that down to here. Okay. So that will at least allow me to see, what's going on here. Okay. So now that I have that taken care of, I'm going to go in, I'm going to make another box. I'm going to make it fill the rest of this space. There we go. And it is on the same layer. We need to take the opacity and drop it down for that as well. There we go. Okay. Stop. There we go. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to make this from green in the front to probably white in the back, to be honest. So we're going to start out with my dark green. We're going to make sure that it is a gradient, and I'm going to take the opacity and move it back up. I'm having a really hard time seeing what I'm doing without the opacity all the way up. Go to the picker. There we go. And we're going to go with the dark green there, but it needs to be flipped. So I'm going to go to 180, and it still went to the wrong place. Should have been 180 anyways. There we go. And I guess I'll have it go to white, or I could have it go to a really light blue. Let's have it go to the dark. There we go. So from here, I have my basic landscape. I need to take this one, I'm going to turn the opacity back up. There we go. And let's get off there. Okay, so I have the basics set up. Excuse me. I can always flip back and forth using the eye. But it's got the basic color scheme. We're good. So this is what we're shooting for, hopefully by the end of the day, if possible.